So you know who this is really going to annoy y'all. And I hate to tell you, but he got a big discount yesterday after...
Yeah.
I know. After an appeals court lowered his bond from $464 million to $175 million.
Okay, so we're going to react today to the left-wing media, these quote-unquote comedians, these unfunny left-wing comedians who are melting down because all of their attacks against Trump are not working. The Democrats are attacking Trump from multiple fronts. They're saying, oh, we need to hit him with a RICO case down there in Georgia because they're saying he tried to commit election fraud. That's not working out so well. That case is falling apart before our eyes. He's getting hit with a federal case saying he mishandled classified documents. He had classified information in the toilets in Mar-a-Lago. They're trying to charge him with paying hush money to Stormy Daniels. He has to pay millions of dollars to some lady who claimed that he allegedly did something to her a long time ago. And the case that we're going to talk about today, the case in New York City where they said he committed fraud against the city of New York, against the state of New York, about the value of his properties. And this case isn't working out too well either. So we all know the gist of the case. He got hit with a $460 million, over $460 million fine for allegedly misvaluing his properties, defrauding banks, telling the banks that his properties were worth way more. And they gave him loans on that. He paid back the loans. The banks were happy. Trump was happy. But now Letitia James, this corrupt ass DA in New York, who's not worried about actual crime in New York, she's worried about getting Trump. In fact, her whole campaign was built on finding something to charge Trump with. So now she's trying to seize this man's assets. She's saying, we hit you with $460 million. You got a couple of days to pay it. And if you don't pay it, we're going to seize your assets. That was the plan. And earlier this week, she was hoping to try to seize some of Trump's building, maybe the famous Mar-a-Lago, famous Trump Tower in New York, because they were demanding in a very short amount of time, nearly $500 million in cash. And people laughing. I thought Trump was a billionaire. Ha ha, he's broke. People don't know that most of Trump's money is tied up in real estate, and that's not a liquid asset. That's not something that you can just easily and quickly convert into cash. But it didn't work out for him because while she was in the process of trying to seize this man's asset, another judge came up and said, you know what, we're going to delay that. We're going to give Trump more time. In fact, we're going to reduce what he owes down from $460 to $175 million. The amount is ridiculous either way because it's a violation of the 8th Amendment. In fact, let's read this real quick. Excessive bail should not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted. So telling somebody to come up with $500 million in a couple of days, isn't that a violation of the 8th Amendment? Looks like it to me, but like I said, this lady is dirty as hell. She's super corrupt, and that's all she wants to do. She's building her name and risking everything, putting everything on the line and trying to go after Trump, trying to find something to go after Trump with because she's hoping that the larger Democratic Party, they notice her, give her a pat on the back, and that she can get some type of elevation in the future. But she's just another regular old corrupt ass Democrat. In fact, let's take a look at her getting booed by some firefighters while she was trying to give a speech.
Oh, come on, we're in a house of God. First, simmer down. I want to thank Commissioner Kavanaugh and Chief Hodgins for that recognition.
So here's the crazy part about that. This woman is so sensitive. She's so arrogant, so big-headed. She's going after the firefighters for booing her.
Meanwhile, the FDNY still searching for those rowdy firefighters who booed New York Attorney General Letitia James at a department promotion event last week.
So that's a completely different video there, but that's an example of how petty and how conceited this woman is. Like I said, they are giving this man an excessive fine, a violation of the 8th Amendment. I'm waiting on somebody to do something about that. And businesses are worried. We had Kevin O'Leary. He's been extremely staunch and hawkish about this whole thing, saying if you're going to try to find somebody for running business in New York, for just standard business practices that everybody does, is going to scare off investors. Anybody who's thinking about investing in New York, buying real estate, doing some type of transaction, foreign nationals who want to do some business in the United States, they're going to be afraid, because if you don't like them, if the government in New York doesn't like them, maybe they'll get fined too. Maybe their assets are going to be snatched up too. So let's look at Kathy Hochul. She gave a little statement saying, no, it's not political, but the other businesses, you guys shouldn't be worried.
This is really an extraordinarily unusual circumstance that the law-abiding and rule-following New Yorkers who are business people have nothing to worry about, because they're very different than Donald Trump and his behavior.
You're admitting that it's political, because either it applies to everyone. You're saying Trump overvalue his real estate property, which is normal. According to Kevin O'Leary, everybody does this. So if you're going after Trump, you have to go after all these big business titans in New York. But then if you turn around and say, no, we're just getting Trump, you guys don't have to worry about anything, then it's political. So you can't have it both ways. Let's take a look at what Kevin O'Leary had to say.
I look at this from a completely different point of view. Let's go up to 30,000 feet and talk about the American economy, our ability to remain number one worldwide, and most importantly, attracting foreign capital to invest in America. And the concept and why that happens, and has for over 175 years, is in our Constitution, property rights are mentioned over 25 times. So this is very important, because if you're going to go over to the Middle East or to Denmark or Europe, where I'm going next week to raise money for American projects, notably data centers, when they give $3 billion to you, they want to know their property rights are protected. And so what was happening in New York was extremely scary. And I have to admit to you, in the last 2 weeks, I kept telling them before our meetings, don't worry, the adults will step in. Something will happen to advance the appellate process. Your rights are protected. Imagine me telling foreign investors that as they watch this roll out in New York. Thank goodness the adults came to the rescue. And now we have a process beginning, a 60+% reduction in this infraction fee, and that really should be getting more to what's balanced. Trump assuring everybody he has the cash to back the bond. These are good advancements towards keeping the stable message about the American brand as the number one economy to invest in.
So they're in the middle of trying to find this man, trying to trash talk him, and the judgment been reduced. And on top of that, Trump just had a massive windfall in his net worth. His net worth is about to shoot up over $4 billion, because Truth Social, we all remember when he was kicked off of the internet, basically Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of these people kicked him off. They coordinated, kicked him off. Then he got on Parler, and these organizations, Google, Apple, Amazon, they all coordinated to take down their website in order to silence Trump. So Trump created his own platform, and now that platform has elevated. People laughed at it at the beginning, but now it's being valued at over $13 billion. He owns tens of millions of shares in it, and his value in those shares are worth over $4 billion. And it's just right now. Just wait until the feeding frenzy starts. It's already starting now. But when a lot of people line up to start investing in it, his net worth is going to shoot up even more, because this company is merging with Digital World Acquisitions, and it's going to be on the stock exchange, bringing in millions of dollars.
And why do good things ever happen to Donald Trump? Yesterday, the Trump Media and Technology Group, or HPV, which owns Truth Social, completed a deal to go public. According to Bloomberg News, that deal increased Trump's net worth by more than $4 billion, making him one of the world's 500 richest people.
So the left, they're upset about this. They're upset, like, man, we've tried to find him. We wanted to seize his assets. We wanted to take the Trump Tower from him. We wanted to make him broke. We wanted to take away any money that he had set aside for his presidential campaign. We wanted to snatch it from him. But it's not working. The fine's being reduced, and now his net worth is going up even more. Instead of losing $500 million, he's gaining $4 billion. All right, so we're going to take a look at Jon Stewart. He's another one of these left-wing comedians. These unfunny comedians. These guys have full-blown Trump derangement syndrome. So let's take a look at him going after Kevin O'Leary. Like I said, Kevin O'Leary, he's been making rounds. He's been on CNN, Fox, and a lot of other networks trying to give the warning, trying to say, look, put Trump aside. If you are setting this example to the business community, you're going to cause harm and devastation to the overall business industry in New York. But these Democrats, they don't want to hear it because they're so Trump deranged.
That didn't go over very well with the investment community because we're all asking each other, who's next?
Who's next? The persecuted minority of the investment community. First they came for the arbitrageurs, and I said nothing. For I was not an arbitrager. And then they came for the quants, which I could be. I don't know what a quant. But I am surprised to hear this from Kevin O'Leary, a guy who's such an asshole. Wait.
Here we go.
That even the other people on Shark Tank thinks he's an asshole. Now, he's very chill. I'm surprised to hear that he's so chill about overvaluing something that he thinks is victimless, because when someone tries to do that to him...
Which one of you do I absolutely tear to pieces now on a $28 million valuation?
You think this is worth $10 million?
Absolutely.
Okay, now I'm going to rip you to pieces. Are you out of your mind?
Your valuation's insane.
Your valuation's crazy. I think that's a crazy valuation.
I think your valuation is stinky poo-poo.
Is Jon Stewart stupid? First of all, the other sharks thinking he's an asshole. Does he not know that this is showbiz and this guy is adding drama and spice to the show? And that show is heavily edited. You might have an hour, 2 hour long segment where the business owner comes out there and they'll chop it up into 10 minutes. Does he not realize that? And here's another thing. When Kevin O'Leary has a problem with these business owners' valuation, guess what? He doesn't have to invest in them, right? He can do his due diligence if he does invest, or he can just say, I don't like how you're valuing this. I'm not going to do business with you. This is what he does. In the Trump situation, the banks that gave him the loans, they also did due diligence. They said, okay, you value it this way. We see it this way. This is what our research, our due diligence showed, and we're going to do business with you. We're going to make a choice after doing our own due diligence to do business with you. But Jon Stewart doesn't understand that.
No, you didn't. Canadians are so vulgar. How is he not this mad about overvaluations in the real world? Because they are not victimless crimes.
Because the banks have a choice to do
business. The banks got
business.
paid back at lower interest rates, although, to be honest, who gives a shit? But second, money isn't infinite. A loan that goes to the liar doesn't go to someone who's giving a more honest evaluation. So the system becomes incentivized for corruption. And this is part of a different Trump fraud case, but avoiding taxes hurts all of us. Donald Trump's shenanigans cost the city of New York.
It's been nearly 10 years they've been talking about Trump's taxes. Can you imagine it? And they haven't let it go.
That is money that the city of New York could have used to build more Walgreens. Now, some blocks only have 2 of them.
He's talking about New York losing out on money. No, you're going to lose out on money when you start weaponizing the justice system to go after your political rivals. That's when you're going to start losing money, because businesses are going to continue fleeing. When somebody wants to build some big business, some big property, they're going to find greener pastures. They're going to go somewhere else, like Amazon. Amazon realized, oh, hell no, we can't go to New York. And Kevin O'Leary is saying the same thing when I think he's talking about spending $3 billion or so on some business, some data mining center, something like that. And he's saying, oh, no, not in New York. So New York is losing out on taxes right there because they are weaponizing the justice system against their political rival.
Leave it to Kevin O'Leary to be unaware enough to say the quiet part out loud.
I hear about the so-called victimless crimes, but the laws on the books, falsification of business records in second degree, issuing false financial statements, insurance fraud, conspiracy, and all these different aspects of it, those are actual crimes. I take it your point is that these should not have been prosecuted?
Everything you just listed off is done by every real estate developer everywhere on earth in every city. This has never, ever been prosecuted.
There is a theory
These people
in law
don't know
that
anything about
if enough
business.
people commit a crime, it automatically becomes legal. You're familiar with the purge, are you not?
Well, that's kind of like on a smaller scale. All of these left-wing Democrats talking about legalizing marijuana, legalizing drug. Remember in Oregon, they legalized crack and meth. So they said, look, enough people are doing it. It's popular. We all like getting high on weed, so let's just legalize it. But I guess he has a problem when it comes to real estate business because he doesn't understand it. Again, this man knows nothing about business.
The entitled arrogance. I don't know if you know this, but most people just can't commit fraud and expect to face no repercussions, even if everyone's doing it. Try getting a car loan by saying you have 10 times as much money as you really do, or claim 20 dependents when you have no children.
The banks look into it. If you try to go get that car loan, the bank is going to look into your finances. They're going to ask for proof of income. They're going to do a credit search. And the IRS damn sure is going to look into it. So this man isn't understanding. He didn't trick the banks. They weren't swindled. They made a choice to engage in business after doing their own due diligence. Or maybe this guy actually does understand a little bit, but he's feeding off the ignorance. You hear his audience reacting to him like a bunch of clapping seals. Earth, earth. You hear this crap. So they don't know for sure. So if he can spread some misinformation, if he can spread lies saying Trump deceived the banks, Trump committed fraud, this is a terrible thing, these dumbasses listening to him, they're going to fall. There's fraud and abuse on both ends of the spectrum. You got the low-level crime like they were just showing. And, of course, we have these rich politicians, Democrats, Republicans. We got the Uniparty. They're getting filthy rich. And, of course, we got big businesses who take advantage of the system and people who see loopholes in the system, and they take advantage of it to build their business. But here's a problem with what this guy is saying. This is the normal practice of business. This is how businesses operate in New York City. This is what New York allows to go on because it's building up the economy of their city. So if they want to apply this law and just go out there, everybody, okay, just go ahead and destroy all of Manhattan. Just kill all the businesses up there because you want to listen to idiots like Jon Stewart. So the government allows pathways for businesses to thrive because businesses, big businesses, are where the jobs are. Even Jon Stewart himself, he's working for a massive corporation. These corporations, they get tax breaks, they get incentives from the government, and they use loopholes in order to grow the business, and therefore they can hire people like Jon Stewart. They can hire people who work under Jon Stewart in his studio because this is how these businesses work. This is how jobs are created. This is how the economy thrives. But these socialists, they don't know anything about business. In fact, they're anti-business. So they want to continue doing this. Go ahead. Just go after all those business, be completely anti-business like AOC was, ran off all those jobs from Amazon, like Andrew Cuomo was when he did those draconian lockdown policies, ran off thousands of businesses, gone from New York. And y'all bitch about the economy. Oh, the economy, we don't have jobs, paid so low. Well, you guys are killing it. You guys are scaring people off. You got investors trying to come in and put money into your city, trying to build the economy up in New York, trying to build up some jobs in New York City. But the Democrats who run New York City, Kathy Hochul, the left-wing Democrat governor, with your policies of weaponizing the justice system to go out the political opponents, you're scaring people off. So if somebody comes in and sinks some money in, and then they say, oh, you know what, I want to run for senator, I want to go for mayor or something like that, you guys are going to dig into their business and slap some charges on them and maybe even try to seize their assets. But these unfunny comedians, they don't get it. They don't understand. Weaponizing the justice system against your political rivals backfires. The people who are watching this aren't stupid. The people who are following this closely, they see exactly what you're doing. It's all political. It is dirty. It is grimy. It is banana republic style. But let me know what you guys think about this. Leave me your thoughts below. Share the video. Thanks for watching.